Yes, you can go ahead now, sir. Let me just open as soon as the presentation is up. Thank you. All set, sir.
Okay, all right. Good evening, everyone. And you are most welcome to this presentation. It's funny, you know, life is full of adventures and chapters. And every time you look around, you find that there's a new turn. This issue of potatoes has come out of the blog that we had on avocados. But you know, life always throws opportunities at you. And so we decided to make an offshoot specifically for potatoes. And today is our second part presentation by Dr. Reda Abdallah Abelazaz. I hope I've got that correct. Professor, I believe, is from Egypt, and they are here with the Zambia-Egypt Joint Farm Project in Mwembeshi. When he saw someone post on potatoes, he quickly reacted to it. And when I saw it, I also quickly reacted to it. And I said, if we start discussing potatoes and avocado, then we'll lose the plot. And that's why we set up this one specifically for potatoes. My prayer is that all of you that have jumped into this will find an answer in this avenue, and that you take advantage of the opportunities that may be brought about. So without further ado, let me just hand over to Professor Reda to take us through today's presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Are you getting me? Hello?
Yes, sir. We are. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much, and sorry for the delay. We're supposed to start at 7, but at least this time we have some people has joined us, and I think others are going to join us shortly. However, last time we have introduced the first part of the presentation concerning the potatoes and the potato production, of course. And it was general aspects. Like last time, we were just going through the topic of potato production. And this second part, of course, it will be more practical. And I hope that every one of you will focus very well, because we are going to start step by step from the day one until we harvest. All the treatment, the fertilizer program we will talk about, the pest control we will talk about, the agricultural practices we will talk about, until you harvest, of course. And after that, you are welcome to raise any questions, and then we will be happy to answer you. Before I start, also, I would like to say again the good news that happened through our negotiation last week with Mr. Tony, the one who is going to supply the seeds for us. Like we were saying last time, that the best way for potato production is to have a contract. And to do a contract, this will give us many advantages, because most of us are small-scale farmers, so that we don't have the facilities that can store and handle our production. And as you know, the potato production, if you start harvesting, you must deliver fast to the market, and otherwise your production will be damaged unless you have cold store and so on. So the best, we said that the best we can go for the contract farms, where we will guarantee that before we plant, we guarantee that we have the buyer. Mr. Tony also, we have negotiated with him. He was offering in the beginning 50% for the, we pay 50% for the potato seeds in advance, and 50% when we receive it. But again, we have came back again and we discussed, and we arrived to 50% in advance, and the 25 when we receive, and the 25 when we produce. I mean, it will be deducted from the production. However, I think this was a good deal that we have arrived with him. I'm sure he is with us now, and in case of anyone wanted to ask him some questions also concerning the handling, the seeds, whatever, I think this would be welcome. Without wasting too much time from our precious time, so I'm Professor Dr. Rida. I'm from Egypt, yes, my brother, I'm from Egypt. And I'm the project manager of Zambia Egypt Joint Farm, in collaboration with the Correction Service, the Minister of Home Affairs in Mombeshi, as well as we have also another farm in Kabwe. Potato, of course, we have seen this Latin name last time. And we have seen this slide, the simple visibility, which was talking about the seeds, the herbicides, the fungicides, the biofertilizer, the insecticides, the chemical fertilizer, the final K, which is potassium, foliar application of foliar fertilizer, and the drip irrigation system. And we have mentioned that more or less, in average, you can get net profit about $2,000 net profit after you plant 1 hectare. And we are saying that this is the minimum, because you know it depends on the production, and it depends on the time of production, of course, and the price and the market demand. However, we have mentioned also last time that the market demand for potatoes is high, and there is a shortage in the market most of the time, and I'm sure that you are aware about that. Now we will start to go to just remind you last time. Who is not,
can we please ensure that we are all on mute, and only the professor should be unmuted. Please. Everyone else.
Hello. Okay. So for those who didn't arrive, who was not with us last time, this slide shows the potato plant. And what is important for us now, of course, the whole plant is important, but what is more important is that down part, the underground part, which is the tubers, and this white stem, that our aim is to increase the height of this white stem. Why? Because most of the roots that will initiate tubers after that will come from this white stem. Then for the green one, of course, it is important for us because this is the kitchen that cook all the carbohydrates and the others nutrients, and go and send it back down to be stored in the tubers. But for us, for the flowers, that upper part is not such important for us here in Zambia, and for us as farmers who want to produce tubers. Then also this slide that I have summarized last time, and it was as a result of many experiments and many planting dates that we have went through, and we have arrived that you can plant potatoes from the end of March, April, May, June, and July. This is our advice, our recommendations, and we don't advise you to plant in after July, because the rain season will catch you. Then you will face a lot of damages for your production, and a lot of low quality tubers, which will also reflect on the reduction of the production. So it's not recommended to plant after this date, unless you have some other precautions or some other techniques that we might talk about later. Once you get the seed, now let's start. We are starting now, and this is the first step. The first step, we will get the seeds. If the seeds, the amount of seeds is not enough for our land, so we will see if the tubers are big or medium size or small. If it is small, we will plant the whole seed, the whole tuber. If it is big or medium, we can divide based on the size of the tuber, and with the condition that each part that we will divide must have an eye or bud. We call it bud or eye, and that bud or eye to be also sprouted, so that it can fast germinated. If you will go for the technique of cutting the tubers into small pieces with each one with one bud or one eye, then you will need to treat your seeds, especially those which has cutted with fungicide, special treatment. Then you will need also to put them on the shadow for 1 day or 2 days, until a small layer will be built on that cutting, so that it can protect the tubers from the infestation of the fungus when you plant later. Of course, any tool you will use for cutting, it has to be sanitized with fungicide. Then sprouting the seeds. Once you will get the seed, if you will buy the seeds ready from, or as we are doing here in Mombeshi, then once the seeds come, if it is not sprouted, you take the seeds out of the cold container, then you can leave it outside under the shed in the room temperature for 1 week or 10 days, until you see that the buds started to be to sprout. Of course, there are many other treatments that you can treat it, but usually the seeds that you import, or the seeds you buy as a seeds, it is ready and already treated to fast sprouted. So sprouting is one of the treatment that is needed, so that the germination will be fast. If you plant the potato without sprouting, it will still germinate, but it will take up to 30 days, from 25 to 30 days until germination. If you plant your tubers while it is already sprouted, as you see in the photo, means that can you go with the slide, please? Can you change the slide? Yes, another. Next. Next one. Yes, this one. We are here now. I thought we are present because I'm explaining from my computer. So so this photo shows you the sprouting. So if you plant your tubers while it is sprouted like that, it will take from 8 days to maximum 15 days maximum. So you see, you save like about 2 weeks. Next. Now, these are some treatments that you can make also to fasten your sprouting. You can go through, but it is for us, once we import the seeds or we buy the seeds, all what we need is to keep it outside until we prepare the land for 1 week or 10 days. It will be already sprouted. So next. Now we need to prepare the land. Next slide, please. Yes. So we need to prepare the land. What we need to do is to make ridges, and those ridges can be single one or double together. The single or double, the difference is that for the single you are planting one line only, and I will show it in the next slides. But for this one, you see the distance is a bit higher. So meaning you can plant 2 lines in the same ridge, 2 lines in the same ridge. You can make 2 ditchers, and you put 2 lines of the same on the same ridge. So this is what we call it the double. And you make sure that the height of the ridge is about 40 centimeter. 40 centimeter, the minimum, the height. Okay. Next. After you make the ridge like this, you need to make a furrow on the top of the ridge, and this furrow supposed to be from 15 to 20 centimeter depth. So in the middle of the ridge, you will make furrow, ditcher or furrow, 15 to 20 centimeter depth. I will explain for you later why 15 to 20 centimeter. And in this ditcher or in this furrow, we will add the following fertilizers. Those who were asking about fertilization program, it starts from now. So before planting, as you see, we will add compost or manure. This manure, some people were asking last time, chicken manure or animal manure. You can add both animal manure, chicken manure, any type of manure. The only difference is that you should consider that the chicken manure has a high level of nitrogen content, and it is hot a bit. So meaning if you will add a chicken manure, you will add half of the quantity of the animal manure. So if you add, for example, if you are adding 1 bag of or 1 ton of manure, animal manure, for the chicken manure will be half ton. For the compost or the manure, however, you add 2 to 3 ton. It's supposed to be mature and dry. Then all of us knows the decompound, which is rich in phosphorus. We will add 4 bags per hectare. Again, I'm reminding you this presentation. Every one of you can keep it as a guide, because we will go day per day until the harvest. So now we are in the stage of land preparation and adding the fertilizer for this the fertilizer program. Decompound 4 bags per hectare. Agricultural lime 2 bags per hectare. The decompound is rich in phosphorus. The agricultural lime is rich in calcium. SOP is rich in potassium and sulfur. 2 bags also per hectare. All of this to be mixed together and broadcast in the ditcher or the furrow that we have made on each ridge. Okay, that one 15 to 20 centimeter. You add all of these in this ditcher and this furrow, which will vary like if it is 15 centimeter, you will use like 5 centimeter, meaning is remaining 10 centimeter. If it is 20, you will use 5 again. meaning the remaining is 15 centimeter the furrow. This is where you will plant later. Next. Now you go to again to your seeds, which we have kept in the shed for 1 week or 10 days to sprout. Now we will spray our seeds with fungicides. We can spray, or we bring a drum and we put the fungicide in this drum, and then we put the bag of seeds all together. We dip it in the drum, and then we take it out to be dry a little bit. Then we start the planting. Or the best and the easiest is to spray your seeds and to leave it also 10 minutes or 30 minutes maximum to dry. Then we start the planting. This is a title key 500, this 0.8 liter per hectare, of course. These are the name of the fungicide that you can use, and we have used it, and it is very good. So here you can see in this slide the name of the chemical and the dose. After next slide. Now we have treated the seeds, and now we supposed to take the seeds to be planted. The planting distance supposed to be 25 to 30 centimeter, which means 2 tons per hectare. So meaning if you have 1 hectare, you will need 2 tons of seeds. 2 tons of seeds, okay? And it is advisable to have the tubers with the size of the egg. The egg size of the tubers as a seeds are the best, because it will give you the chance to plant more area. You arrange your seeds like this in the ditcher, and of course before that before putting the seeds, we have already put the fertilizer, if you remember. Fertilizer, the compost, the decompound, I'm reminding again, and the lime and the SOP. We have mixed it all together in the deepest 5 centimeter. Now in the last 10 centimeter, we are putting the seeds. Next. Now we need to bury the seeds. So you can bury manual like this with the hoist. And when you bury, you will put, meaning you put soil on top of your seeds. It's supposed to be maximum 10 centimeter of soil only, not more, because if you put more soil, meaning more than 10 centimeter, meaning it will be more deep, and meaning you are prolonging the time for germination. So 10 centimeter to bury your seeds with 10 centimeter of soil. Next. Now, this is very important treatment that we have to do. We need to spray the weed killer now. I want you to remember that the weed killer in potato, we usually spray only this time. After that, we don't spray. Maybe because the type of the post-emergency herbicides is not available in Zambia. In Egypt, we have, but here we don't have. We have only pre-emergency. So for the pre-emergency, we will use 2 types of herbicides. One for the grasses and one for the broadleaves. The first one called Maspor, 1 liter per hectare. The second one for the grasses is Metron, which is 700 millimeter per hectare. And this will be sprayed on the soil immediately after we bury the seeds. Immediately after we bury the seeds, then we spray the herbicides in our area. Make sure there is no exposed seeds, and make sure that all the seeds have been buried and they are not exposed to the herbicide. This is very important, okay? Now we sprayed the herbicide to control the broadleaves and the grasses. We will irrigate after that. From now, we will go, please, you look at the top. Next slide, please. In these slides, and from now, you will read the title is going with days. So from 10 to 15 days, the germination will start. Nothing to be done. We have already sprayed the herbicides, so meaning you will not find any weeds right now. When the next 25 days, yes, 25 days, meaning you need to spray fungicide. The name is of this fungicide called Cleaner. It is 75 liter, 0.75 liter per hectare, and you spray it on your plants. The idea of spraying this Cleaner is a preventive, meaning I am not gonna to wait until I see symptoms of the fungal disease on my plantations. No, this is a preventive measures. I remember someone was asking me, and I told him or her, I remember that today you're supposed to follow the preventive measures. Yeah, that one who was posting dry potatoes, dry leaves. So we don't want to our plants to be infected with any fungal diseases. So from the day 25, remember we have made the seed treatment with fungicide. You remember? This is the second time we are making spray, foliar spray with fungicide after 20 days, so that we can keep our plants clean. Next. The next is after 35 days, we will spray foliar fertilizer. Foliar fertilizer, and it is called Final K. Final K. This is I'm posting here the chemicals that I have used, the fertilizer that I have used, and I've got a good result. However, if you have any other product that is rich in potassium, but this one is rich in potassium and the price is very reasonable. That's why this program that you will see here, it's very, very much economic. So 10 liter per hectare foliar spray. Why I am spraying after 35 days this Final K, or a fertilizer rich in potassium? Because now your plants, the roots start to initiate the small tubers. And if you dig down to check on one plant, you will see that the small tubers start to be initiated, which means that this is the time that you are targeting to give potassium. And the potassium means it is needed for, number one, to multiply the number of tubers. Number two, to increase the number. Number two, to start to grow the size. I mean, increase the size of the tubers. This is why we are spraying foliar potassium. Next. Yes, this slide, in case if you didn't spray herbicides, or if you sprayed and still some weeds are coming, so you need to make weeding, as well as you build the soil around your plants. Remember that first slide that I have shown you, the potato plant, and I said the target is to increase the white stem underground. So by building again the soil around the plant, meaning you are burying the bottom stem the bottom part of the stem, which you are forcing this part to be white because you are preventing this stem from the light, which means it will be white, which means it will start to initiate roots and after that tubers. So meaning you are increasing the production. You can repeat this building the ridges from time to time if based on the availability of labor or whatever. Yeah, it's mainly the labor if you are doing this with labor or with machines. Next. Now 40 days, we need to spray foliar fertilizer again, but it's rich in nitrogen, and it is advisable to be biofertilizer, and it is 10 liter per hectare. Here, your plants will be more green, and the vegetation will be more good and big, of course, so that we can all of this. I said it's like a kitchen for making the carbohydrates and then send all these nutrients and the carbohydrates again to the tubers. So it is very important to spray biofertilizer rich in nitrogen. Again, it's supposed to be 45 days. This one, sorry. The next slide, this is 44. You will spray again fungicide, the same cleaner, you remember? The same cleaner that we have sprayed in the beginning as a preventive. Now we are, after 45 days, we are spraying it again so that we are sure that our plants are clean and it is not infected and won't infect. Next slide. Next one. Next slide, please. Yes. This will be your plants. It will look like that. And also you as a farmer, you're supposed to go in your plantations and monitor if there will be any other symptoms, insect, yellow leaves, or the plant growth is good or no. Any notice, you're supposed to monitor step by step so that you can take a quick action. But as you are following this program, we are safe up to now. Next. 50 days. Next slide. Next slide, please. Yes, 50 days now. We need to spray insecticide. This porcelain is 1 liter per hectare. We spray also as a preventive measures for any infection of insect. And by the way, this time, in this stage after 50 days, you may find some insects that start to eat the leaves. And also the potato fly will be active by that time, so that we are spraying the insecticide that can protect our tubers and our plants from the infestation of the insects. Next slide. Again, it's supposed to be 55 days. We spray the foliar final K again. This time we are spraying the final K to increase the size of the tubers. The first one in the beginning, you remember, we have sprayed one time, final K, to increase the number. Now we are increasing the size. Next one. Next slide. This is okay, wait. Okay, I made some mistakes with the numbers of days for the previous slide, but I will correct it and I will send it again to Miss Linda to post it in the group. Okay, so 65 days we will spray another insecticide, Ren Prita, 0.2 liters per hectare. Also, because this time the potato fly is very active, and they also our tubers now will crack the soil, and that insect might put the eggs on that tubers that is gonna to be exposed, or they put the eggs on the stem of the plant, and then the larva will go again down and will make holes in our tubers. To reduce this infestation, we need to spray this insecticide. 70 days we will spray for the third time the final K. Again, not for only for the size, but also for the quality of the tubers now, the nutrition quality of the tubers, and for these tubers even to stay long on the shelf life. 85 days, here we will stop irrigation. From 85 days, we stop irrigation. If you are using drip irrigation, you stop. If you are using center pivot, you stop. No irrigation to be added to the soil after we reach the 85 days. So concerning the irrigation system, if you are using a drip irrigation system from the beginning, of course, you will start, you will irrigate daily basis, every day. Of course, the factor here is your soil type. If it is sandy soil, meaning you can irrigate every day, twice, morning and after 4 p.m. like 1 hour, 2 hours, depend on the weather conditions and your soil type. But if your soil type is can keep the soil, keep the water, so meaning that you can irrigate half an hour and half an hour. Okay, but in the beginning and while the vegetations, it is important to add more irrigation. As you add more irrigation, your plant will be healthy. Also, your tubers will have the chance to expand and to grow. Of course, the varieties also are one other factor, because some varieties like jelly varieties, for example, the jelly varieties is like a drought resistance, but it is advisable for every variety of potato to add enough amount of water, because it is very important for the tubers to give it a chance to increase in the size. 95 days, of course, we start harvesting. 95 days, we start harvesting. And if you remember, we are gonna to plant mondial, this growing cycle. And we will see if the next one we can change the variety, or we keep with this variety if we will be satisfied with this one. We have chosen this one because we have a good experiment with it, and also the time is like exactly 95 days. We are harvesting by 100 days. We are concluding the harvesting, and then we prepare for the next cycle. This is the production, the final production of the mondial that it is expected you to get triple than this production if you follow this very simple and economic program that I have posted here. I tried to put it with to share it with you. Just to remind you, there are some other growers, some other farmers, some other engineers that can put fertilizer program and pest control program triple than what I have posted for you. But again, it will be too much cost it will be too much cost. Yes, you can get some more production, but when you come at the end to calculate the input cost and the income, you will find that the margin of profit will be less than the margin of profit if you follow this program. Because with this program, you are spending less, you are getting a reasonable and a good production. Thank you so much. We have arrived to the last slide, and I welcome any question, of course. Thank you.
Mr. Kapamba? Let me just unmute him. Yes, you have unmuted, Mr. Kapamba.
Okay, all right, I was struggling. Yes, Mrs. Kalinda will still take care of the questions that have been asked, but I hope that we have all appreciated the presentation that has been made. You are free to ask for any slide on which you want to make your question. And please, let's exhaust all those questions so that we're much the clearer. Please, you can go ahead with your questions. Mrs. Kalinda will follow through.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, Professor, for a wonderful presentation. And thank you so much, Mr. Kapamba, for making arrangements for this presentation. We don't have any comments in the group. So if people, oh, hang on, we've got one person who's raised their hand, and that is Chimunya. Please go ahead with your question. If you can unmute yourself, and then you'll be able to ask your question. Yes, you've unmuted now.
I don't know if you can hear me now.
Yes, sir.
My first question, I've got 2 or 3 questions. My first question goes on first page where he talked about the germination of the seeds. First consignment we had last year, we had the challenge in terms of germination. I would like to ask if at all, because as far as I'm concerned, as farmers, we don't have a good storage for the seed to put them until they germinate. But unfortunately, as the seed we received, they are not sprouted yet. So it took us a month or 2 months for them to germinate. Due to, for them, there wasn't germinated yet, and for the, in terms of the, also the weather also added for them not to germinate early. So my question based on, is there anything that you can help us farmers before we give her the seed, you make sure that they sprout immediately. Then after that, that's when you can supply us, because you've got a good conducive environment for them to sprout area. That's my first question. My second question is
sorry, can you go one question at a time, sir? If you can answer your first question, if that's okay.
Can you give me a chance to answer this question first?
Yes, go ahead, sir.
Yeah. Once you receive the seeds coming from the buyer now, the one who will supply the seeds for us, then all what you need is if you have a one room storage room or any place under a shade place, open air, you don't need to keep it in cold room or cold facilities. No, the seeds that you will receive from the supplier, all what you need to do is to keep it in on the ground for 1 week. 1 week or 10 days maximum. Okay, then you will notice that it will be sprouted. If you want to take it sprouted from the buyer or the supplier, we can ask him, but the issue is that I don't know if he will have a space or not. But the best is to take it and to start to put it in your land. Me myself, I don't guarantee that my seeds to be in other place while I want to plant and preparing the land. I want to, until I prepare the land, it takes from me like 1 week. This 1 week, my seeds are in the store on the ground, and it is sprouting. Since it is coming from the cold store, 4 centigrade, and you take it out to the room temperature, it will sprout immediately. Once it is sprouted, then you start planting. You don't plant, like I said, before sprouting. The reason for the late germination, because maybe you have planted while it is not sprouted yet, or maybe because you have planted and they make it deep, you buried more than 10 centimeters of soil on top of this. So you will see the late, you will see the variability in the germination. I hope that I answered this. You can ask the answer.
Yes. Would you like to ask your second question, sir, before we go to
Yes,
the other?
yes, sir, I've taken note. Anyway, if I saw them anyway. Okay, I've taken note. Thank you.
All right.
Then my second question goes on in terms of what's the. I also experienced some certain diseases which were attacking our tubers. Now I wanted to ask the type of insects that he used. We find that most of the insects he was mentioning from his briefing, we find a challenge for us to access those insecticides. And
You
for
find
instance, maybe I would love also to give us the active ingredients so that we can go other alternatives which can work as the same.
Yes. Okay. For the insecticide and the fungicide, we have used this from Rainbow Company. I don't know if you know it or no, but I think they are with us also, and they are offering very good prices for this.
Professor? Your microphone has gone.
Okay, the last question, thank you very much. The last question, I don't know.
For the active ingredients, let me come back again. I find the active ingredients and I can give it to you.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. On your last question, sir?
My last question is what did I wanted to ask you?
It's okay. We can come back to you, sir. No problem.
Okay.
Let me just ask
You
the
can
two
come back
questions
then.
on the chat. Thank you so much, sir. Okay, so I've got a question from Musanje. Do you have to mix the weed killers, or you have to spray at different times but before germination? That's the question, Professor.
No, yeah. Like I said, I made this economic program. If I tell you spray individually everyone, meaning I'm costing you fuel, I'm costing you labor, or costing you, no. You mix together those, it is able to be mixed together, and you spray one time.
Okay. Thank you, Professor.
Okay.
Yes. Musanje, does that answer your question? Okay, I think you're on mute. No problem. Okay. The next question is from Trish. Can potatoes be grown in a greenhouse or a tent during the rainy months?
Yes, exactly. This is a good question. If you remember, while I was presenting, I said, unless otherwise, you can use other techniques that we might talk about it later. Now she's raising this sort of these techniques. You know, there is greenhouse is, let me say, it is too much costly to make a greenhouse to produce potatoes under this greenhouse. But there is some other technique called tunnels. It is like the greenhouse, but it is small. So it only cover the ridge. So each ridge will have one tunnel. I will show you in the third part of the presentation these techniques that you can use during the rain-fed season. But again, you will make these tunnels to cover the ridges, but you need also to make the drainage system very well done. Meaning, the around your land, with considering the elevation and the level of your land, you have to prepare the trenches that will take the water away of your plantations, of your potatoes. Plus, you have to increase the height of the ridges in this time also. And when you increase the ridges, meaning the potato tubers will be a little bit higher than the ground. So you are reducing the soil moisture to be much more down, so your potato will not be rooted or damaged. The other techniques, of course, I will introduce next part. I think let's keep it to the third part of the presentation.
Okay, Professor.
Yeah,
Next
because
one.
all this will be new techniques.
Okay, thank you, sir. The next question from M says, hello, Professor. 6 hours K. All right, okay, I don't understand that bit. I just wanted to ask, I have missed the beginning because of work as I am UK based. Was it recorded so I can go and rewatch? Yes, it was recorded and it's been shared on the potato group. I have sent the link for the YouTube channel. And then the next question says, I'm using organic practices. What is the alternative to decompound and pesticide? And this is from Drina.
The alternative of the decompound, any product that is rich in phosphorus naturally, and there is a product called rock phosphate, but I don't know if you can find it here. Rock phosphate, it is a natural product that is rich in phosphorus. So this you can use instead of the decompound. The lime, of course, this is available, and you can use it in the organic production. For the what else? For the SOP or any compound, any product rich in potassium that you can use. Of course, there are available some products that is rich in potassium, and they are saying it is organic. Then if it is allowed to be used under your organic, you can use it. Unless otherwise, if you don't have this one, then there will be the recipe, the homemade recipe that we can talk a little about this later, because it needs a lot of time. I mean, to tell you the recipes that and how to make the recipe at home, and then to spray your plantation with this natural and organic one.
Thank you.
Concerning the chemicals for fungicides and especially let's talk about fungicide now. For the fungicide, to answer you, the sulfur, if you see, and this is for all of us, if you look at any fungicides, you will find that they mainly is built on the sulfur, the sulfur. Then, if you have sulfur, natural one, powder or liquid, then you can spray it. So this is not a chemical. Sulfur alone as a powder is not you can use it in the organic. If you don't have this sulfur, which is very needed to, because this is the main ingredients for the fungal diseases. But you will need to spray it like 1, 2, 3 times, so that you can make a preventive. You can make a layer that can stop any spores to infect your leaves or your tubers. What else? For the insecticide, There are also homemade recipes, like, you know, the if I'm trying to remember for you, the hot pepper or the chili and the garlic and the ginger. You bring all, you put in the blender, then you soak it in the water for a few days, then you start to spray for insects. There are many, you know, right on the Google, homemade solutions for pesticides or fungicides, then you will find some recipes. This is what I can say in the chemicals, especially for the organic production needs special techniques and the special consultations. So maybe we can prepare another presentation only for the organic production. Hello?
Thank you, Professor. Yes,
Yeah.
Professor. I'm reading through, and the last question I have from Bwalia says, what is the weight of the bags of lime? I think lime is 50 kg.
50 kg.
Yes.
50 kg.
Okay,
Any
thank
bag
you so
of
much.
the when I say bag, it's 50 kg. This is the
Okay, sir.
standard.
Okay. Mr. Jonathan, did you have a question? I noticed you had unmuted yourself. Mr. Jonathan
Sinkolongo.
did you have a question? Yes.
My friend.
Okay. Sir, you're on mute if you're talking, sir. And then somebody asked,
Hello.
what is the best?
Yes.
Oh, yes, go
Yes,
ahead.
Sinkolongo.
I said I had no question, please. Sorry.
Okay,
have
no,
no
it's
question.
okay.
No,
For now. Okay.
thank you. And somebody is asking what the best climate is to start planting potatoes.
The best planting date.
No, start best climate. What is the best climate to start? Is there
Climate.
anything to do? Yes. Yes, climate.
Yeah, what? Yeah. In fact, we have mentioned this in last time and this time. We said we can
Yes.
start planting from the end of March, April, May, June, and July. And we said last time in the favorite temperature is about 24 centigrade. The cold weather also increase the initiation of the tubers. And winter season, let's say winter season is the best weather for potato plantation. Avoid the rainfed season.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay.
For those of you who joined a bit later, there is going to be a link to the YouTube showing the presentation for the professor. So you could always rewind it if you'd like to watch it again. And if you've got any questions for him, just share them on the group or directly to him, no problem. I see somebody called Hamadi has unmuted themselves. Would you like to ask a question? Hamadi? Okay, they've dropped off. Okay, not a problem. Did anybody else have a question before I close? We do not have any more questions in the chat, or we do not have any more questions in the WhatsApp channel. Again, thank you so much, Professor.
Thank you. But
yes,
before we close,
yes, sir.
I don't know if Mr. Tony is with us, the one who will supply the seats for us. So maybe we can. I don't know if he's with us. Mr.
Yes,
Tony?
Mr. Tony Rex, you're on mute. If you can kindly unmute yourself, sir. You're welcome to the conversation.
Tony?
Yes, good evening, everyone.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Hi.
Go ahead, Professor.
Yes, I'm there, Professor.
Yeah, please, can you because we have negotiated with you for the last time for the seats, so you may give us updates and tell us what some more information.
Sure, we have already started to plant in Zambia in different places. We've started in Kabwe and then went to Mpongwe. By the way, we have Mwebishi's load. It's ready, it's sprouting and looks very healthy and good. There's more loads are coming on the way to meet the demand. We are looking to plant this year about 200 hectares of lands. So far, we have agreed with 85 hectares. So there's still rooms there for any participants to come on board. And of course, as I've learned from you, and as you are aware, we are planting up to July. Yeah, we are doing the variety mondial. The reason I know we love to do the mondial, it's good for our soil here in Zambia, as you are aware, and everyone in the group here. Seats are readily available. It takes up to 4 days to be in Lusaka, and we are ready to supply. And of course, as you mentioned earlier, we would love to do contracts. We are doing contracts. Most important things that whatever we are planting, it's guaranteed it's sold. So I have the market for that. And there's no need for any worries about washing or packing or doing any other service on the potatoes after harvesting. So all what you need is just harvesting, put on a truck and come into our plant, and we will do the needful. Of course, we shall agree about the payment terms and we finalize from there. I hope that could help everyone to understand the aspect of our scheme there.
Yeah, thank you so much, Tony. And I think if someone have a question from the group, he can ask, so everything can be clear for every one of us.
Sure.
Yes. Can anybody either raise their hand or come off mute? Okay. Jeffrey, would you like to go ahead with your question, please?
Thank you very much. I just want to find out, I completed the form that was shared earlier, which talked about the contract and also the hectareage. I just wanted to confirm whether that is for this same company or that was for a different company. I'd signed up for John to do a hectare.
Professor is taking all the details from the form. Professor, do you want to go ahead? And
yes, all the details that is sent by the form from your side also, this is the company, Jeffrey. This is the one.
Oh,
so
okay.
the data is
Now, the next question is, I also wanted to find out, do we need to sign a fresh form for every planting? Like I would love to do another one for July.
Well, this is a good question, because also me, I was thinking, and let me think loudly together now. Those who has completed the form and sent, I don't know if those will go individually to Mr. Tony and make the contract, or us all as a group, but as a group we will make the contract one time, or no, or what? You know, I don't understand this, and that's why I wanted to raise this issue here so that we can decide together now, Miss Linda.
yes.
How can we do this individually? We will send this to Mr. Tony, then he can, with the contact information that is in the form, he can contact with each one of us, but with the of course, the offers that has been offered to all of us, the same payment methods, and also for any discount is coming from, especially from the chemical companies, or from the drip irrigation system, anything that want to be sold to the group, it has to be very much economic, competitive prices, and high quality. So I mean, the group has to have advantages, not to be like individuals, or if we are going like that. So what do you think? Which way that is best for us?
So from what I understand, Professor, the form actually collects the fact that people want to buy at different times and different seasons. So on the form, it actually says whether you are ordering for this month or next month or for April. So if all this information is transferred over to you and to Mr. Tony, and Mr. Tony, you can then do the calculations as to how many orders there are for July and for whichever month it is that you're able to produce to suppliers. I think at that point, then we can share the list with the group in case anybody has been missed out, so that we know what the order is. Unless anybody has got concerns about sharing how many potatoes they're buying. If anybody would like to speak up at this point, it would be useful to know. So is there any opposition to sharing the list on the group?
No, for me, I don't mind.
Okay, because initially the proposal was not everybody on the group. We do have 160 people on the group. However, those who
they are 200 now.
Yes, but some of us are still procrastinating, sir. So those of us who already made a decision and are able to start and have cleared our land would probably be starting sooner than the others. And the others who are starting later, it's clear on the form when they are starting. I'm quite happy to bring up the form to show the details of, let me just bring it up quickly. There we go, potatoes.
Perhaps whilst she's bringing it up,
yes, sir.
the comment I want to make is that for now, I think we're going individually. We need to formalize ourselves as a group going forward, if we have to deal as a group, because unless we create a cooperative where we can have formal membership and people are recognized as members of the group and they follow rules, it will be very difficult to hold and tie individuals to any commitments that they make. So for now, I think that each person that makes an order is making it in their individual capacity, and they must follow through with whatever commitments they make. But going forward, we need to examine very quickly how we can put ourselves together as a cooperative so that we can start engaging and tying in some of these contracts as a group. That's just my thinking.
Yeah, I like the idea of cooperative. I like it.
So what we can ask the question so people can actually choose. So as you've said, Professor, at this point, you are allowing people to either pay individually or to pay as a group. So I think at some point, Mr. Tony, you would have to advise us as to how much of an advance you need for the payment. So for instance, for the order that's coming in July, do we have a deadline? That sort of information would be useful to know that if a payment is not received, the 50% is not received by a cutoff date, then the people who are going to get it are those who have paid a certain amount. Because
all what I want is a commitment from now.
Yes, sir.
To send me the forms with the number of farmers that they want to plant in June and July, so I can just secure the seeds. And before end of May, we can receive the payments and we start deliver, or we start give a set date of pickup from my facility, and we can take it from there. So all what I need for now is just number of farmers, number of hectares that I have to arrange for the seeds. so it can be readily available for the corporations.
I understand, sir. That sounds
Yeah.
Amazing. So I
Yeah.
mean, we do have the list of the number of people who want to order at a certain time. So I will export the
Sure.
information and send it to you, sir.
I just need to bring the attention that for April and May, I
Yes.
am done with cultivations already.
Okay.
So I'm open now for June and July.
June and July. Okay.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Okay, I shall do that.
Yeah.
So it'll be June and July.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any questions for Mr. Tony in terms of payments or in terms of anything he has just said? Please feel free. I do not see anybody's hands up. If your hand is up, or please feel okay. So Trish, you said for June and July, when do we need to pay for the seed? I think he said payment would be in May, but he needs
Yeah.
for now, he just needs to know the quantities. Is that correct, sir?
Correct, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Was there any other question from anybody in the group? Okay. Thank you. No, nobody has unmuted themselves. If anybody would like to unmute yourself, I'll be able to tell that you want to speak. If you don't know how to raise your hands or if it doesn't show on your device. Would like to give you an opportunity to be able to ask as many questions as you can at this point so that it's clear from the beginning what needs to be done. No, looks like everybody's got their answers, Professor and Mr. Tony.
That's fine. And if anyone will have a question later, he can still ask in the group. And
Yeah.
then we will answer him, especially for the technical aspects. From my side, I'm gonna to answer. And from the issue of the seats and the payment and this, of course, Mr. Tony can answer.
Mm.
You and our coordinator for this idea of cooperative also, maybe we can talk about. There are a lot of issues. Of course, the new techniques, the third part of the presentation will be about the new methods and the techniques that you can plant, and the irrigation system also, how do you irrigate, and when and where and what at the quantities of water, as well as some diseases and that infect your potatoes, and how to control it, how to prevent from the beginning, and of course if you will be infected, if your plants will be infected, then how to control it. This we will talk about in the third part, of course. Plus any other questions that is gonna to be raised until the next Tuesday, then will be considered also in this last or third part of the presentation.
Professor, do you have a date yet for the next presentation, sir?
Like I said, next Tuesday.
Okay, next Tuesday will be fine.
In the same time.
Mr. Tony, if I may ask the question, in terms
Yes.
of the potato appearance and how it's produced, could you tell me what sort of potatoes you have declined in the past? So if I come with a potato that doesn't look too perfect, what would be a no for you to take this type of potato?
If it's infected, or if it's it has the worms or any pesticides that show on the skin. Apart from that, we are taking all sizes, we're taking all shapes, even if it has the skin is like overripe or anything, we have no issues on getting that. But apart from that, if it has any holes or any unpleasant appearance on the potatoes, that will be rejected. But if it's cracked due to like the way the farmers is like harvesting, or it has any chill on the skin, we have no issues on getting that.
Oh, I see. Thank you so much.
Or if it is greening.
Most probably with you can advise me, Professor, most probably harvesting for May, June, July, it does not give this issue of greening on the skin. I'm not sure if I'm talking right or wrong.
Yeah, in fact, the greening is because, and this we will know in the third part of the presentation. The reason for greening is the exposing.
Sun.
Yeah, no, the tubers are exposed to the sun.
Yeah, exactly.
So you are not you meaning you are lazy to build the ridges, the soil around the ridges, as we were explaining it today.
Exactly.
If you will not build the ridges, the soil around the ridges, like what we were explaining today, meaning the tubers will be exposed. Some of the tubers will be exposed to the sun, then meaning it will be green, and this greening is not good because it's a poison. So
Definitely.
it is rejected.
Definitely.
Thank you
100%.
so much, Professor. We've got a question from M. Could you go ahead and unmute yourself, please, and ask your question? The person
Yes,
who's...
good evening. This is a message for Mr. Tommy. I just wanted to know if, for example, do you supply to the Congo, and this is in the Katanga region?
Unfortunately not. We are doing the program mainly for Zambia.
Okay.
We are trying to enhance our production locally here in Zambia.
Okay.
Yeah, but you are most welcome. You are most welcome to come and collect seeds from my facility to take it to your side there in Lake Tanganyika.
Does that answer your question, M?
Yes, that's fine. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Did anybody else have any other questions? I'm looking at the chat. I don't seem to see any other questions. Professor, when you do your next presentation, are you able to show this type of potatoes that will be rejected? Just to give an idea.
Yeah. Okay. So let me put this slides, also this title for the handling and the disorders that can be infect the potatoes, and then accordingly it will be rejected. Yes.
It would be useful for me to know as a farmer to say that if I choose not to use the biofertilizer you have suggested or the chemicals you have suggested, what the potatoes would look like would be like this, and therefore they will not be bought.
Yeah, of course, we will do. We are going step by step.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Did anybody else have a question? M, is that a legacy hand, or did you have another question? It might be a legacy hand. Okay, I'll just lower her hand for them. So thank you so much again, Mr. Tony. We look forward to hearing from both you and the professor. We appreciate
Thank you so much.
We appreciate you taking the time to talk to us, and thank you so much, Mr. Kapamba, as well, for organizing this, and we'll look for more information towards the details you have just asked for. If anybody has got any changes they would like to make to their form following this conversation, please complete a new form, and then I will disregard the first form that you completed if you'd like to either amend, increase, or reduce. As you've heard, there will be a cutoff date, so any time before then would be amazing. Thank you so much, both of you.
Just one closing remark, sorry.
Yes, Mr. Kapamba, go ahead.
If we have any people that have joined us that could help us in the formation of a cooperative, it would be good if they could make themselves available so that we move into that avenue very quickly and see how fast we can do things. It looks like with the new regime, when you talk cooperative, people will talk to you, if you know what I mean.
True.
Thank you so much. Mr. Tony, have you dealt with cooperatives before, or has it been more individual farmers that you've had dealings with?
No, I've dealt with the small-scale farmers before,
yes,
and that was mainly in Kapiri Mpushi. We've been doing a lot with them. I'm very familiar with that, actually. It will be a good idea. It's a good idea to have a cooperative. It eases the life of farmers. and it brings a lot of ideas together. As you mentioned, it's a good idea to have a cooperative. Actually, it will help a lot of small-scale farmers to enhance their way of doing the farmings as well.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
I would love to get the list ASAP, if you don't mind, so I can just arrange for the timing. Really, the timing for farming, it's very crucial, and we need to make sure that we are putting the program right, so we can all get our crops on the right timing as well.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I shall do that.
Appreciate it.
Good
Thank
evening.
you so much.
Yes, go ahead.
Hello.
Sir.
Michael here from Renglow. I also just maybe thought that perhaps if it's not added on that list, maybe it could also be added those that might need some irrigation, and also the specification on the size of land that they're dealing with, so that if in terms of the need for irrigation, we can already be able to prepare ourselves for those particular members. Thank you.
That's very useful, sir. We appreciate you giving us that feedback. Would you be able to share your contact details on the group in case people have got questions regarding irrigation?
No, indeed. I will. They already have been shared, but I will do that again.
Oh, thank you so much, sir. I appreciate that. And if
Absolutely.
anybody's on this call and is not on the group, please feel free to get in touch with Mr. Kapamba or Professor Rita or myself, and we'll be able to add you to the group. Thank you so much. I will close the meeting for now, and I shall see everybody next week. Thank you, Professor.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so
Mr.
much.
Tony. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.